Hi friends, welcome to the Shits and Gigs podcast where we keep the vibe high, the humor gets raunchy, and things get spicy when we talk about food. I'm your host, Meg Davis. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're here because you like to get weird, you like to learn about some cool shit, and you're committed to living your best life. YOLO! I am here to lean into my natural curiosity around why the frick we're here and what makes us special. I am honored to witness so much talent and experience with each guest that I have on my channel. Each guest is invited on because of a simple conversation, a simple connection. I just find it so intriguing that we all live the same 24 hours and yet everyone's human experience is completely different. So if you're into thinking bigger and leaning into people's natural passions and gifts, you're in the right place. Yay! So glad you're here. Thanks for tuning in. Hi friends, it's Meg. Thanks so much for being here. I am so honored that you have wandered your way over and have landed on this episode. It has been quite a whirlwind of a year, but I am so thankful to have you here listening in on tonight's topic. We are here for an episode of Bath Bombz, so I hope that you are kicking those feet up, sitting back, relaxing, maybe pour yourself a quick glass of rosé. Just take a few moments for you to decompress and pour into yourself. Tonight's episode is all about love and some things that I and my husband, or myself and my husband, have learned to just really nourish a super healthy, happy relationship. And I hope that some of the things that we've been doing to keep our relationship really happy and healthy will also inspire you to lean into that, not only for yourself, but in all the relationships that you have in your life, whether it be with a lover or even just friendships that you really cherish. But first, I always like to give a life update. I feel like I haven't done a Bath Bombz actually in quite a while. I was spoiled. I had a lot of impromptu guest episodes recently. I hope you really enjoy those. So definitely go to the channel and check things out. Most recently, I've had Christy on. She was a 2-time surrogate. Super interesting story. If that's something you've ever been interested in or just intrigued about and you want to learn more. And then I had Eric Wesolowski, who is a hashtag dirtbag runner. His words, not mine. And he is just an incredibly ambitious person who runs hundreds plus miles every week, monthly, all the time. I don't know. He's probably run more miles than I've walked in my entire life already. Very ambitious, super great for like building that gritty mindset and stuff. Definitely an intriguing episode if that's something you're interested in with athletic performance and things of that nature. And then most recently, my guest episode with Alan. He's the new director of the Black Walls Gallery up in Boston. Super cool collaboration with the New Diaco, which is the, I believe, second largest dispensary in the United States. And it's kind of like a cannabis mall. So they are partnered with the gallery. It's right in that space. So it's a really cool, unique partnership to allow artists to gain these new opportunities where they would typically be turned away at your average gallery. So definitely check that episode out, especially if you're local and you're looking for something fun to do in the Boston area. Seems like a really great time. I can't wait personally to get up there for a parents' night out. Super fun. But yeah, life's been crazy. This whole year has been nuts. And we actually just hit on December 7th our 1 year for, or my 1 year for Not So Average Prep, my meal prep platform, and then also the podcast. This is the 73rd episode in, so that feels really prideful and exciting, just knowing that I really committed to this year. I'm really proud of the fact that I've continued to just pivot as needed and kind of release expectations of what I thought it was supposed to look like or what I wanted it to look like. And just like riding the wave, that's been my motto this year because there's been so much to navigate. It's been a year of surrender for me, just surrendering to the unfolding of my divine path because life just feels so on purpose this year, even in the most chaotic moments and the moments that I wish didn't happen. And life feels so on purpose and the signs are so clear that there was almost no way I couldn't follow the signs as long as I was open to seeing where they were going. You know what I mean? So it's been a very interesting year. Most recently, life updates. Cammy started daycare and he crushed it. Originally, I was working from home 3 days a week, and then each of our moms had a day with him, which we're so grateful for that they step up and do that for us. And it's just so special for him to get that time with them every single week. So he's with them 2 days a week, and now he's going to be at daycare, which was like a huge transition, but he's already crushing it. He's at his first 2 days, and it's super cute. Every time now I ask him about going to school, he says, yay! So glad he's feeling good about that. And then today is my first day at my new job, which is something that may come as a shock to a lot of people because I've been doing the same thing for the last 9 years. I've been an entrepreneur. At first, I was actually juggling 4 jobs with my health coaching, and then the last 4 years with Elevated Nutrition, I had transitioned to full-time entrepreneur, which I would not take anything back. The last 4 years have been so transformative for my life and all of my businesses, and leading me to this point in my life right now. I wouldn't be half the person I am today if it weren't for Elevated. Especially shout out to my best friend and mentor, Jess. She is a light, and she is so tenacious with just setting a standard of not living short of anything but like your happiest and healthiest life. And I think that with just having that mindset of not settling for less is just how I got to this point of needing to pivot. It's nothing, there's no bad juju, there's no bad feelings. It was just necessary life changes to achieve that. Like Jess has always encouraged me to just like achieve that life that makes you happy, that makes you feel fulfilled, that makes you feel proud. So it's not that I wasn't happy doing what I was doing. I just was craving a new challenge. I was craving to learn new skills, and also with the podcasting specifically, and connecting with, or having the opportunity to connect with so many intriguing, interesting people leaning into their passion work this past year. It just really helped me recognize that I think I have more to offer outside of what I'm doing here. So I am very fortunate to still be the Herbalife hookup. My distributorship is still open, so anyone that I've worked with in the past, or that you just maybe have been curious about the products and maybe you just didn't get to me yet with asking what it's all about, I am still going to be working that business and my health coaching into the nooks and crannies. So feel free to reach out for any love and guidance in the health and wellness realm. However, I'm excited to announce that today I'll be starting my new position as office assistant at a local hospice company. And yeah, I'm just very excited to see where it goes. I've been telling a lot of people I'm kind of just taking things one day at a time, because I've gone from full-time entrepreneur where like I'm my own boss and creating my own schedule, to now I'm transitioning to essentially like a 9-to-5 opportunity, which has its own perks and benefits, but the downside is like it's a total life change up. I'm not my own boss anymore 24/7, and Cammy's in daycare, so it's just like a big life change. So I'm just hanging in there, taking it one day at a time, putting my best foot forward, and just going to do my best, because my motto is if you show up, you be your best self, you do your best, there's nothing left to not feel proud about at the end of the day, no matter what the outcome is. Because if you know you showed up and you did your absolute best, if something didn't go correctly or how you wish it would have gone, there's nothing else you could have done. You showed up and you did your best. So give yourself some grace in those periods where you feel like you maybe came short. But if you know in your heart that you showed up fully, okay, give yourself a break. You're doing great, honey. All right, let's dive into the actual topic for tonight. It's been really sweet. Like I just mentioned, obviously we have a lot of things that we've been navigating this past year, between family growing, family losses, this new job change and everything. And it has been probably out of all the 13 years that Josh and I have been together, one of the most pivotal years that we've experienced together, when it comes to the good and the bad. And something that we've tried to really stay rooted in is just like showing up for each other, giving each other a safe space to decompress, because life is heavy. And if you are unable to go home to your spouse and like just let it all out and feel seen and heard, that I'm sorry, like that's not a great feeling that you feel that way when you come home and it's not a safe space. And everyone deserves to have home feel like home and be a comfort and be an escape. And I am very fortunate and lucky that that is the case. And I'm grateful more than ever for my husband after navigating this year. And one of the things that is so simple and basic that we were recently reminded of at my cousin's wedding, there was a beautiful speech that one of his guests made, and she had brought up that the center of love is rooted in being friends first. And it's so basic and simple, but in that moment, I was like, yes, like that is why Josh and I have had so much success over these past 13 years. It's like we've always just prioritized being friends first, because at the end of the hardest days, what you need is like that friend, that comfort, that safe haven, that escape. And at the end of your best days, you want that person that's going to celebrate you and be excited for you and support you in whatever way you need, no matter what the day brings. And we've always tried to prioritize this, but with a lot happening and things of that nature, we had kind of fallen in the routine. Like, we're still there for each other to decompress. However, we weren't going that extra mile to fuel that friendship. We got in the habit of just coming home and we'd eat dinner, get Cammie to bed, and then we would just plop on the couch and kind of rot on the couch and whatever. I would fall asleep like 10 minutes into our hangout, and it just was nice to feel relaxed. However, we weren't getting that quality time that we desired. So some things that you can consider is, first, I always believe when it comes to any type of relationship trauma or inconsistency or what's the word? Oh my gosh, what am I trying to say here? When it comes to relationship troubles, my God, that was not that hard. Relationship troubles, the first thing you want to consider is yourself. Do like a mirror check. What in your life, or what are you experiencing that feels stuck and heavy or you're unsatisfied with? And I highly recommend addressing whatever that is first, because when you take the time to show up for yourself in a way that is positive, it's nourishing and loving, you then have so much more space and capacity to show up for other people. Because if you're at your wit's end, you're not going to be showing up for people in a genuine way. I'm sorry, it's just impossible. So do a self-check first if you feel like relationships, or certain relationships, even not even all your relationships, feel kind of like stuck and heavy in any type of way. Do a little self-check. See what's feeling like yucky inside, or like why you're unsatisfied, and see if there's anything that you could be doing for yourself. We also hesitate so quickly or we put this expectation that everyone else is supposed to be creating our happiness, when you can make yourself happy in a matter of 5 minutes by just doing something simple for yourself. So don't hesitate your happiness because you are setting this expectation that your husband or your kids or your parents or whoever is supposed to show up and like make you happy, when at the end of the day, like, you are in full control of your happiness. And however, if it's something you would love from like your spouse or your whoever you're trying to work on this like relationship with, express your desires and express it in a way where it's not nagging. Just say like, for example, life hack. I actually listened to the Angie Lee show. She had an amazing relationship podcast recently, so I highly recommend listening to that. And one of the life hacks that her guest had talked about is like, when it comes to expressing your desire, don't do it in like a naggy mom way. Just say like, I would really love for these floors to be clean. And you'd be surprised at how your husband or your significant other would attempt to go out of their way to like clean those floors for you. And if not, maybe they'll create the space and opportunity for you to do it at your standards. So like, for example, when it comes to like cleaning certain things in a house, I just enjoy doing it because I know I'm going to be anal about it. And so I just ask that my husband gives me the space and the time to do that task. So clarity and communication is huge. But this Friends First initiative is so simple and so fun, and we've given it like 2 weeks already, and it has been life-changing for adding more laughter, adding more fun, adding more connection, and I think this could be really fun for you guys to lean into. So first, how are you showing up for you, and then how are you showing up for your spouse? Are you being a friend for your spouse, or are you creating a space that feels negative and harsh and maybe judgmental? I think what it comes down to with centering this Friends First piece is, first, very basic, how like that, what is it, the first rule? I don't know, the golden rule, that's what it's called. Like, treat others how you would want to be treated. And like, how are you showing up for your spouse? Are you showing up for them in the same way that you would show up for your best friend? If it's a no, then maybe that's something you want to consider and like think about ways that you could be doing better as a spouse to show up as a friend first. And then have that conversation with whoever, whatever relationship you're trying to rekindle here, with like how they could be showing up for you differently as like a friend first. So one thing that we thought of, we've also been kind of trying to like lean into our inner child work this past year. So that was like kind of us like attempting to do the friends first without realizing it. Like we were starting to throw the football around in the yard while Cam was napping, or just when we had a second. We would like color together. We would listen to music while we were cooking. We listened to we watch a comedy show once a week together because we both enjoy like comedy and laughing. And then we broke out the Twister board, or the Twister game, this past week. That was really fun. Very, very funny. I felt very proud of my flexibility. My husband, however, was like huffing and puffing the entire time, and I was dying because it just sounded like so much effort. But we just continue to find ways to, again, fuel that friendship, fuel that like inner child, because that self-work within like that partnership is so crucial with creating that fun, healthy balance when it comes to just enjoying your time together. Your spouse and your partner should be someone that you enjoy and you look forward to escaping to at the end of your day. And if it's not, maybe see if there's things that you guys can work on together. It's not worth it to come home and feel like regret and remorse about who you're going to be hanging out with. That is not something that feels nice. I don't know. After you work your ass off all day, I wouldn't want to come home and be miserable and regret the person, or be like, not regretful. I don't know. Just when you come home, it should feel good. At bottom line, like it should just feel good. And if it doesn't, then what can you be doing differently to operate for yourself and then also the people in your home, and create that like synergy for each other? Some ideas. I already mentioned Twister. We break out the board game sometimes. We play cards. Like I said, we watch that one show pretty consistently a week, but we are trying to back away from the TV just a little bit, because at the end of the day, we're both exhausted AF. And once we sit down on that couch, we're most likely going to pass out. So we try and spend at least 30 minutes doing something fun together first. Crafting DIY projects, playing cards. You can throw the football around, or like play some type of sport that you both enjoy. For the Twister, also fun twist for partners. Do it in your underwear, kind of fun. Nice way to connect and also enhance that comfortability with each other, like being in your own skin kind of thing. When you're playing Twister, you're in all sorts of positions. So things are folding, things are crinkling and jiggling, and it just increases your awareness and comfortability within your own body also. So 10 out of 10 recommend. I have a couple friends, they do Legos together. That's like a big thing. There's a lot of impressive adult Legos. So if puzzles or like things of that nature are something you're into, like set it up somewhere that you can just revisit every day and do it either for yourself or with your partner. Going to concerts. Housework is kind of like a team thing. That's not necessarily a friendship. I don't know why I wrote that down. Oh, I think it just was, I was getting to with this little note here with housework. Part of creating that synergetic, calm, and welcoming vibe at home is like, I get it. There is not enough time in the day to accomplish all the things. So the dishes pile up. The laundry is never caught up. There's always dishes and laundry to do. And you do your best to like keep the floors clean and keep the countertops wiped down and whatever. And there's just like, I want to put this out there. There is never an I do enough. There's never enough. Because once you put a cap on your capacity of what you're willing to do as a partner, then it's very discouraging for that other person, I feel. But if you are both on the same page, whereas we're a partnership, we're a team, if there's shit all over the floor and I have 10 minutes, I'm going to pick it up. And it's just like showing up for each other in that way, like a constant standard and integrity for just showing up and doing whatever you can in your best ability to create a clean, loving, warm environment for everyone to live in your home space. So when it comes to housework and things of that nature, don't watch each other drown. Show up, do what you can. And if you feel like you're doing your best and your spouse is still struggling, at least express like, I see you. I see that you are doing your very best and you have a lot on your plate right now and you've been really picking up things at home. I just want to let you know that I see you, but I am doing my very best to help in whatever way that I can. And I'm sorry that it's not more. And if that makes you feel good, then have that conversation, but allow your person or your spouse to feel seen and heard in the efforts that they're putting forth also. But I personally believe that setting a standard for saying like, I'm doing enough, or this is my role, that's your role. Like for us, that hasn't really worked. It's just shown like we both rather do everything and anything, unless Josh doesn't like let me hang things on the wall. Typically I'll attempt, but it's typically crooked. So like those types of things, like know your strengths too. Like know what both of your strengths are when it comes to your relationships, because then you can delegate and help each other accordingly when it comes to getting these things done, because you just know who's better at what or who's more comfortable doing things. And yeah, just like recognize strengths and work as a team. And lovers second. So friends first, lovers second. And I don't want to forget about the lover part, because yes, like sex and intimacy is not everything. However, there are so many couples out there that like this isn't even a piece in their relationship, and that is concerning. Like if you have everything else functioning, but you don't have that like lover aspect either, it's kind of concerning. Like it is an important part of creating that connection and that natural endorphins boost, and just like, I don't know, it's innate. I think innate is the word. It's a natural chemical reaction in your brain that makes you happy, and that also should be a part of your routine. And if that's something you're struggling with, communication, key again. No matter, when in doubt, talk it out, guys. Josh and I am very prideful in saying that in the 13 years we've been together, I could maybe think of 3 or 4 times where we've actually yelled at each other. Because personally, we feel like yelling gets us nowhere, and if we can just sit down and talk it out and create, again, that safe space where we're both seen and heard and come to like a win-win possibility for us, why not? Like that sounds amazing. So why not just sit down, talk it out, win-win possibility, and then move forward and just hold that integrity of like, I heard you, I see you, and I'm going to show up differently now. That's all it is. And same thing like when it comes to intimacy and sex. Like if you're feeling like unfulfilled, say something about it. And as a spouse, don't be offended. We're all our own humans. So like if you're not getting what you want to receive, it's not because like your spouse is bad at what they're doing per se. It's just they don't know because they're not you. So you got to tell them what you like. You know what I mean? Huge, also pivotal part in a relationship once we got really clear about that is just like having openness and acceptingness of expressing our needs and wants and not taking it personally when we tell each other to pivot a little bit when it comes to things in the bedroom, because they don't know what you want because they're not in your body and they don't know what feels good. So if you don't say it, they have no clue. No more playing games, people. We are in the era of no more games. Just clear communication and making things happen for ourselves, because we deserve to be happy and we deserve to feel light and loved and all of the things. You got one life in this skin suit. Why not make it amazing to the capacity that you have control over? You know what I mean? And let's see. I feel like there's a lot of tangents, but I think that's all of it, guys. Yeah, I guess that's it. I didn't really look at my notes. I was just taking a peek to see if there was anything else. But big things from this episode that I hope you take away is nourishing that friends first initiative for you and your partner. First, look at yourself, look at how you can be showing up for yourself differently and how you can be loving on yourself, because when you love yourself, you then can genuinely pour out into other people. And then friends first, think about how you guys can be showing up for each other in a friendly way. How can you be your spouse's best friend? Because who doesn't want to come home to their best friend? Everyone does. And then lovers second, how are things and like the lovers aspect of your relationship? And if you're unhappy or feeling unsatisfied, set a new tone of just like talking it out, and then create the expectation of guiding each other more when it comes to that connection time, and not feeling some sort of way about the guidance that you're given. You know what I mean? And when all is said and done, just communication is key. Communication builds trust, it builds integrity, it gives you a guide when it comes to making the necessary pivots in your life, whether it be with your partner or just for yourself. All right, guys, I think that's all I got for you today. Kind of a rambly-jambly episode because it's been a while, but I hope that this Friends First initiative is inspiring and it provides light and love in your life. You all are deserving of it. Thanks again for tuning in, as always, and cheers to our first year of Shits and Gigs. Thank you so much for the love and support so far, and thank you to all of my incredible guests. You all are extremely talented at what you do and who you are being, and just continue to be your bad self. Thanks, friends. Have a great day. Bye.